This is a 2016 version 3 of the Salsa Warbird, easily one of our favorite bikes in the last couple years. It was designed as a gravel race bike, and we never used it for racing, but we loved it as a general road bike, gravel bike, and even a light touring bike. And this is the 2019 version 4 Salsa Warbird. For years we've been asking Salsa to make a 650B version of the Warbird, and it's finally out. Totally not because of our emails. I'm sure there was some market demand for it, but it's pretty interesting. They've made it more versatile. It's got the 3-pack mounts. It's supposed to be able to take low riders. So yes, you can still race gravel on it, but where we saw lots of potential in the Warbird as a light and fast tourer, apparently they did as well, or enough people did, and they've made it more versatile. So I don't usually do multiple videos on a single bike, but this is a bike I've been really waiting for, wishing that they'd made years ago. So let's see how it rides. This is gonna be a first impression video. Take it up the local loop, try to feel out what the differences are between the version 3 and version 4. So let's hit the road. Couple of interesting changes. It's all carbon all the time. Version 3 came in aluminum, which was nice because you could get into a Warbird and not spend a lot of money. But this year, definitely premium model. And if you want something Warbird-like, an alloy, then you're looking at the Journeyman. One advantage, of course, of going to all carbon is weight savings. This bike is super light. I think our alloy one came in about 23, 24 pounds. This is 19 pound. A bunch of interesting geometry changes. One big thing is I can ride no-handed like super easily. I could do that on version 3 Warbird. Took a little bit more effort, but definitely not this easy. The sizing has also changed. In version 3, I rode a size 53, and this version 4, they've gone to half sizes. So this is a 52.5, which in retrospect is a little short. One of the things they also changed is the length of the stem that ships with the bikes. I think this is to compensate for the longer front end. I definitely felt cramped, so I swapped it out for a 90. So if I were to actually buy this bike or request another test bike, I'd probably get the next size up. And in terms of handling, front end feels more stable. I mean, the fact that I can ride no-handed on a gravel terrain pretty easily, I think speaks to that. Should climb pretty well, but we'll see. And have to say, loving the 650B by 47s on the Warbird. It's nice to have a wider, high-volume tire that's suppler and doesn't like make the handling of the bike all funky and stuff. Kind of noticeable design change is the massive tire clearance. When version 3 came out, I think the norm for events like DK were 35, so you put a 40 in there and it's pretty tight. But now with the 650B by 47s in here, lots of room for mud clearance, lots of room for bigger tires. The handlebars are the Salsa cowbells. Pretty narrow for my shoulders. I would definitely swap this out to something wider, and actually the cow chippers. I've really grown to like the cow chippers over the cowbells. Jay Peterberry's been riding the prototype for this, rode it on Silk Road, and he also digs a wide set of cow chippers also. Finish the climb, let's see how it does going downhill. So, first ride with the 650B 2019 version 4 Salsa Warbird. What did I think? It's interesting. I do feel like there's a noticeable difference between this and version 3. It feels as if they took kind of the sharper edges of the Warbird and rounded them out, in some ways making it more appropriate for the way that people ride Dirty Kanza. You know, for lots of folks, it's not about the sprint finish, it's about the long haul. And it feels like the bike's been tweaked to achieve that. Feels slightly longer, front end definitely more stable, rear end isn't short and jumpy. So in some ways, I think it's actually moved a half a step closer to how the Salsa Cutthroat rides. I would almost call it in some ways kind of like a Cutthroat light. So more tire clearance, it's got the 3-pack mounts, more stable, but still manages to be lively. And of course the fact that it's carbon, it's lighter weight, you know, great in the climbs. So I think if this bike were available to us when we rode Dirty Kanza, we probably definitely would have gone with this than the Cutthroat. Ultimately, the reason why we chose the Cutthroat was because we could fit bigger tires and it was more stable, and we knew that, you know, we're just gonna be enduring. This bike kind of straddles that line between the previous version of the Warbird and the Cutthroat. So definitely dialed for more endurance gravel riding, and it loses kind of the twitchier cross handling aspect. And I think the new stability also makes sense given the new attachments for a rack and 3-pack mounts and everything. Definitely probably the more appropriate handling characteristics for loaded touring. And of course, I am a fan of 650Bs. Again, that descent, you know, I've ridden it on the old Warbird and with the 700 by like 43s I have in there. Doable, but noticeably more jarring than something like this. I feel like the bigger tire size, the more air volume, definitely kind of softens the big baby heads on the descent. So that's it for my first impressions. 650B Warbird. So far, so good. I'm super curious about to see how it would handle with a front load, so I'm gonna throw a couple of front racks on it, test that out, and see how it does as a lightweight carbon gravel tourer. If you guys have any questions, leave those in the comments below. Be sure to answer those. And if you like videos like this, consider supporting the channel. I think this is a video exclusive, the first one to get a chance to ride and film and talk about the new 650B Salsa Warbird. Hit that subscribe button, support the channel, and until next time, keep the Salsa side down.